Hey, what's up guys? I'm SodaPop, this is a left pedal, and today we're going to be pulling the intake manifold from my Datsun 280zx. Last week I removed the fuel rail, which turned out to be a little more work than I expected. But big plans coming, so we got to pull off basically everything on this side of the engine. Let's get to work. So the first thing we need to remove is this boot that connects the throttle body and the AFM. Mine's kind of dry rotted, so I'm not too worried about ripping it while we take it out. If you want to save yours, you'll want to be a little more careful than I'm about to be. Oops. Okay, I guess we're pulling the whole AFM off. Now there's some vacuum hoses underneath the throttle body. You'll need to take those out, because we'll be pulling out the throttle body with the intake manifold. Next, I gotta pull this hose out from underneath the intake manifold. This line goes to the brake booster, and this line goes to the transmission. We gotta pull them both off. The next step is to pull off the heat shield, which sits between the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold. The heat shield is bolted to the intake manifold from the bottom. There's 6 bolts, and you kind of have to feel around for them. You're gonna want to have a good assortment of different wrenches, sockets, and ratchets. And some extensions will help too. You gotta get your hand in some kind of weird places, and having the right tools really helps with this project. Ow! Ow! Oh, that hurt. Okay, I managed to get all but one of the bolts for the heat shield off, and then naturally the last one will not come out no matter what I do. I've been working on it for about an hour, and I think at this point I'm just gonna try to take the intake manifold off without taking the heat shield off. We will see if that's possible. I've heard you can do it, I've heard you can't do it, I've heard only certain year models, but there are 6 bolts into the exhaust manifold. And they have little washers on them. They're not actually going through the intake manifold, but the washer itself is pressure fitting to the bottom of the manifold. So we got to get those out. We're going to use our 3/8 ratchet and a 10-inch extension to try and reach them. We'll see how that works. Alright, so I've been at this like 5 hours now, and I just got all of those bolts out. But you can get all the bolts out from underneath the intake manifold without removing the heat shield. Okay, next step is to break down the throttle linkage. Just get a wrench in here, kind of wiggle it off. Alright, so there's a cotter pin right here. You're gonna want to pull that out, and then you can pull the whole thing apart. And make sure to keep this little washer and the spring. There you go. There's a metal tube connecting the exhaust to the EGR valve. This gave me a lot of problems. After wrenching on it a couple of hours, I could not get it out, so I decided the best option was gonna just be to cut it in half. Unfortunately, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't pull out the angle grinder. However, it's a new day now, let's get this thing out. Alright, so now I'm pretty sure the only thing that's still holding this intake manifold on are these 3 bolts right here. There were 4, but we pulled off one in the last episode when we did the fuel rail. Now let's go ahead and take these off and see if we can pull the intake manifold out of the car. Out of the car. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty rough. Been at this about 2 days now, my hands are absolutely destroyed, but we got it out of the car. In the next episode, I got a very special surprise for y'all, and it involves this. I'm Soda Pop, this is the left pedal, and I'll see y'all next time.